You'll live the same life for 20 years and you'll wake up and you'll be 30 and nothing would have changed. And nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if you don't realize you gotta change. You gotta change. There is no tomorrow. I'm not saying tomorrow about this. This is my purpose. I'm not saying tomorrow about my purpose, my dreams. There's no tomorrows. There's today. And I'm living this today and I'm doing this today. And that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So stop negotiating with yourself. So stop negotiating with yourself about there's time, I got time, there's no time. There's no time because you don't know when it's going to be your time. You don't know when it's going to be your time, bro. So something that I find very, very interesting is the concept of change. The concept of change is strange. The concept of change is far-fetched. The concept of change is something that we mostly do not want to do. And I know this from experience, and I know this because me, myself, I truly hate changing. Me, myself, know how hard it is to change. Me, myself, have only changed in circumstances where I had no option but to change. And I find that crazy because I find myself walking in the same cycles and living the same cycles of life and living the same moments of life. And then one day I wake up and I say, how many times have I lived this day? How many times have I done the same exact thing? How many times have I seen this before? And I wonder why don't I change? Why does it take me so much pain, so much heartache to change? And I know so many of these things. I know that tomorrow is not promised. I know today is not promised. I know that today could be the last day that I live. But why do I take today for granted? Why do I take the blessings of the day for granted to live a day that I already lived, to sit in the same comfort that I've always sat in, to be the same person that I've always been, instead of striving to be a person that I've never been and do things that I've never done. And that's the scariest part of life for me. The fact that you could live the same 10 years, same 15 years, same 30 years, and never change. And I want to tell this story because I think that it will relate to other people, but at the same time, who knows? It's something that I just really want to tell. Most of you guys don't know, but I'm 3.5 years sober, almost 4 years, and I went through some of the toughest times in my life when I was fighting through drug addiction. And I saw very, very dark times, and I lived in that cycle of picking up again and picking up again, picking up again, picking up again, and doing the same actions every single day without a change. And my habits got worse over time, not better. And every single day I pretty much said, I need to quit. I need to quit this life. I need to quit this job. I need to, not I need to quit this life. I need to quit this job. It felt like a full-time job, honestly. I need to quit using drugs, you know? And it relates almost to the same feelings that I have of working at a 9-to-5 job that was making me a good amount of money, but at the same time, it was kind of like hindering my growth in the sense of I wasn't going to the places that I want to go into my life. And I'm not achieving the dreams that I wanted to achieve in my life. And it felt the same way. It felt the same way because at the time, I don't want to be doing the job. And I say, I just want to be doing YouTube. I just want to be making videos. I just want to be doing what my purpose is. But at the same time, I have this society standard of, oh, you got to be successful. You have to make this X and X amount of money to be successful and da-da-da-da. And then on top of that, when let's just say in the drug sense, when I was in that same cycle, I was in the cycle and I was telling myself, nah, it's okay. I was telling myself any narrative to kind of continue on this cycle and continue to sit in comfort and continue to destroy my life, even when there were so many things that pointed to the fact that it wasn't working out for me or it's not good for me. And in every single sense of life, in every single situation in life, you can be proven over and over again that something is not good for you, something is not doing you service, and you still kind of go back to it and go back to it because you're comfortable with it and you don't know any other life. And something that I've found in myself and through just observing other people is that most of us are limited to the perspective that we have. Like, we don't realize that there's another perspective, another life out there for us, another option, that life is full with endless possibilities. And we get limited to the fact, excuse me, and we get limited to the fact of our vision, of the life that we see, of the moments that, the lives that we've heard of. And we don't look out to see there's a whole nother life out there. There's a whole world out there for me to go see. And we take advantage of the fact, oh, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. And you said tomorrow I'll change for a lot, a while. You said tomorrow's for years. And I said tomorrow's every single day when I was on drugs, right? I said tomorrow's every single time that I went to the plug to go get more. I said, yeah, I'm just going to get this amount. I used to get, this is the definition of insanity. And I relate this to life today as well. I said, nah, man, I'm just going to get 7 grams, man. I'm not going to be smoking tomorrow. Nah, man, let me just get 3 grams of shrooms. I'm not gonna be doing shrooms tomorrow. Nah, man, let me just get 2 pills, man. I ain't gonna be doing these tomorrow, bro. I quit. Like, this is the last time I'm doing it. And guess what? How many times I said that? I said that for a year straight, bro. I said that for a year straight, going to this guy's house almost every day. Every day, I'm going to this guy's house, going to this guy's house to cop, going to this guy's house to cop. Every single day, and I'm telling him the same exact narrative. And then at a certain point, he's just saying, yeah, all right, bro. And at a certain point, I was lucky to have actually the best drug dealer, I think, in the world, because he was actually kind of my friend, and he was like my big homie in a way, where like, there were certain things I wanted to try, and he was like, bro, you don't need to do that, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't need to do it. And he had real junkies that were fiending for these drugs, and he was just like, not trying to serve it to me, because he knew, like, he was like, yeah, you gonna tear your life apart, bro. But I still went and found it somewhere else. But you know, I say that because, you know, I did the same exact thing with my dreams when I had that job. When I had that job, I said, yeah, you know, tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll wake up at 5 a.m. I'll work on that dream. I'll work on that dream project. I'll work on that music. Work on these videos. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, man. I'm a change. Like, and I used to walk home after work like, something's gotta give, bro. Something's gotta give, bro. I gotta change, bro. And it took that pain, and it took me praying to God every single day and understanding that it was something that I was powerless over a little bit, and that I couldn't change myself. Like, it took that level of pain, and even in drug addiction, same level of pain, like it's same level of pain of, man, I can't handle this. I gotta surrender, like, or else I'm gonna live this life for the rest of my life, and I can't do it. And somebody told me that exact narrative, that you'll live the same life for 20 years and you'll wake up and you'll be 30 and nothing would have changed. And nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if you don't realize you gotta change. You gotta change. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow for you to live. You know, I was talking to my dad today, right? And my dad's getting older, you know, and he wants to do so many things with his life, of course, like everybody in the world. And he's retired, and he has nothing that he's doing that is of insane value today. And I'm not saying that he doesn't live a purpose. He lives his purpose. He lives a great day every single day in his perspective. But I was telling him, like, man, you don't got no time, bro. Like, you have no time at all. You know, and he was trying to explain to me, like, oh, you know, from my perspective, if I calculate up the years of my dad and this, that, and this, and our family lineage, I got some time. I'm doing pretty good. Like, I'm ahead of the ball. And I looked at him, I'm like, you could tell time? You could tell when your time is gonna come? If I gave you the date next year, that next year, June 21st is the year you die, is the day you die, what would you do today? If I could tell you the date that you die, what would you do today? What would you do? And today ain't promised. Tomorrow ain't promised. God gave you today for a reason. You got to go live it. You got to go live it. You got to go do something. You got to go do something. You got to go live your life to the fullest. And that's what I started saying about this. I started saying, man, if I don't start this right now, bro, I don't care if nobody watches this. If I don't do this right now, I'm never going to do it. Because I'm not saying tomorrow about this. This is my purpose. I'm not saying tomorrow about my purpose, my dreams. There's no tomorrows. There's today. And I'm living this today. And I'm doing this today. And that's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So stop negotiating with yourself. So stop negotiating with yourself about, there's time, I got time, There's no time. There's no time, because you don't know when it's going to be your time. You don't know when it's going to be your time, bro. And the funny thing is that, bro, most people don't change. Most people don't change. 99% of people never change in their life, bro. Never. 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 Never realize there's another life out there for them. Never realize there's options. Never realize to the full extent what they possibly could be, the wasted potential that they possibly wasted, the life they could have lived. They don't even realize it. So wake up today to realize that you're living 10 times under the potential of the life that you could be living. That you're not even close to who you're supposed to be. That you're nothing to the life you could be living. And I say this because, bro, I really wasted my life, bro. And I'm not saying I did waste my life, because compared to a lot of people, I didn't. But the thing that woke me up to realize I had to change is because my life was about to end. I was getting ready to lose my life. I was doing what I was doing. I was using the drugs. I was using this, and I was living near-death experience. I don't need to get into the mix, but that's what was happening. And I went into AA for like the second time, right? After I relapsed. And this is like the last time I went in. And this one changed my life forever. These statements that these people told me on this day changed my life for forever. I walked into the AA room for first couple of days, right? And I'm like 90 days sober. I didn't think I needed nobody to stay sober. I didn't think I needed nobody. I was like, man, I got this myself, man. Them people, they weak. That's why they got to go to there, right? But that's not true. They're strong. They got the courage to speak about their problems, bro. That's one thing that you have to have is courage to speak about the fact that you don't have the strength to solve every problem you got, bro. That God is out there. Someone's out there that's watching over you, and you need to surrender to it. All right, whatever. So I went the first couple of days, and I walked straight out the room right before the meeting ended, because everybody in the room is old and stuff like that. I'm like, man, they ain't got nothing to offer me, bro. I don't even want to be talking to these people. And yet, I was hearing them in the meeting, and they're telling me crazy. They're not telling me, but they're speaking, and I'm relating to what they're saying in another level. They're saying the drink was their solution to every problem they had, this, that, and this, all these type of things. And they were saying their life is past their wildest dreams. And I was kind of confused. I'm like, you ain't drinking. Your life is past your wildest. I can't even fathom the life that they're talking about. Cause I'm like, I don't know how your life could be the best in the world if you're not drinking. That didn't make sense to me. Whatever. So then on the fifth day I go in there, third or fifth day, something like that. I try to run out the room, like right before the end of the meeting. They kind of stopped the whole meeting. People are in wheelchairs and stuff like that. And they're chasing after me, pretty much chasing after me, trying to go out the door. And I'm like, they're like, yo, wait up. They're like, how old are you, son? I'm like, I'm 19 years old, bro. They're like, what? You 19 years old? I'm like, yeah. And they're kind of like asking me, why are you coming here, bro? Like, why are you here? I'm like, I ain't got no other option, bro. Like, I'm trying to be sober, bro. And I don't know any other way that I'm gonna be sober, and except for coming to these things, I guess. And I'm pissed off about it. I'm embarrassed that I'm in this motherfucker. And then they say, wow, you got a chance. You got a chance at life. And I'm like, chance of life? What you talking about? Chance of, they're like, you got a real chance to go live. You got a real shot to go, like, do whatever you want to do. Go get rich. Go travel the world. Go this. Go that. I'm just like, what? Like, now they're triggering my ear because they saying about getting rich. I'm like, huh? You know what I'm saying? I'm intrigued. And then I'm like, what? Like, I'm lost. And they're like, let me put it to you like this. You know, I came in when I was 50. When I was 50 years old, they got sober when I was 50 years old, or they discovered this new way of living at 50 years old. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, I drank for 40 years, like 30, 40 years. I drank for my whole life. Like, I lived that way for my whole life, and it didn't give me nothing. Like, I didn't travel the world, and even when I did travel the world, bro, I really wasn't there. I was drunk. I was hungover. I couldn't even realize where I was at. You know, I couldn't even pick up what just happened last night. I couldn't, nothing. I wasn't really experiencing life. I'm like, damn, right? They said I wasted 30, 40 years of my life. 30 years, bro. Most of my life. And ever since I got sober, the past 5 years of my life, the best years of my life. And I'm like, what? They said, so, like, really embrace this. Like, really, I hope you stay sober, bro. I hope you feel this. I hope you understand that you getting a real blessing right now by being sober today. And it really changed me when I heard that, because I'm like, so you telling me without telling me that I could waste 30 years of my life in a bottle and a drink and a drug, just doing the same thing every day. And it's like, you're really just chasing this feeling. You're chasing this high that is like chasing a dragon, bro. You barely ever gonna find it. Here and there, you might catch it here and there. But it's like you're just chasing a dragon. And you ain't never gonna get it. And I find the same thing with, success or a job or life. It's like you're chasing this comfort, but the comfort ain't gonna ever give you nothing. You're never gonna get nothing out the comfort, bro. You're never gonna achieve nothing out of comfort. The comfort ain't gonna do it for you, bro. But you chasing it. You're chasing the same life every day for what? For what? And that confuses me, bro. It really does. Because why? There's a beautiful life out there, bro, for you to live. Do whatever you want to do. But you're limiting yourself to this small life. This small life, this small house. I'm not saying that the house even matters, bro. But I'm saying this little life is what you limit yourself to. This is all I can live. And there's a whole world. I'm not saying you got to go travel. I'm not saying that. There's a whole other life for you to live. There's a lot of experiences for you to experience. And you live in this little life. I'm not settling today, man. I'm not settling for a life that I don't want. for a person I don't want to be with, for nothing, bro. Because this life is going to end quicker than I can imagine, bro. Whether I like it or not. You know, at a time, that clock is ticking. And I'm not God to tell you when it's going to stop ticking, bro. And I want to make myself proud, bro. I want to walk away from this life and know, like, I did something. I did what I was supposed to do. If this is the last video I make, I made it. You know what I'm saying? That's it, bro. You know, because I'm going to change. I'm not going to be the same person I used to be. And I could be better. I could be better, bro. You can be better, bro. Don't think that you have to nothing. You change. You make your reality. You make who you are, bro. You let yourself be who you are, bro. And change is hard, but you can change. Things can change. I'm living proof things could change. I was a dirtbag junkie. Things changed, bro. Everything in my life changed, bro, when I changed. So change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, bro. Go change. Because change is the answer to every problem you have. You are the problem. When I realized I was the problem, a whole new world woke up to me because I realized my perspective was small. My life was not broad. The life I could see was small. And I didn't love myself enough to give myself a better life. But there's another life out there for me. And there's another life out there for you.